Welcome everybody. My name is David and I'm the co-designer of Galaxy Postman. In this video, I want to show you the main rules of the game. Now we'll be using the TTS mod because this is the most current version of the game. First of all, you see the general setup right here. In the middle is a play area with the starting Galaxy tile. Around that are the 4 shuttle boards in green, yellow, red and blue. You see some cards and materials around the play area and the main board to the right. The main board is where we will track rounds, victory points and other cool stuff you want to get your hands on during the game. In the play area, you also see the neoprene playmat, which will be an add-on during the campaign. This will replace the main board with all its functionality and provide a cool look into the Galaxy. In Galaxy Postman, you will become a postman and start your very first day at the job. As a postman, you will deliver packages, the player markers on your shuttle board, encounter aliens which want to be transported home, receive messages from Sam, and upgrade your shuttle board. There's much more, but let's get into the rules. The game plays over 5 to 7 rounds and will take about 60 to 90 minutes. One big part of the game is your shuttle board, where you will place your action dice and take your actions. The other big part of the game is a play area, where the Galaxy will be explored and where you will move your space shuttle around to activate actions. Let's start by taking a look at the player board or shuttle board, where we will find a lot of cool things to check out. On both sides of the shuttle board, you can see the 4 main actions that will be available to you. In the center are the cockpit tiles with an empty space for an additional officer. At the bottom, you find your player markers and tracks for your credits and energy reserve, along with a system error track at the top. Up left is your reroll ability and your 2 private wormholes. And lastly, down left is your checkpoint tracker. On your turn, you will use one of your 3 action dice and activate one action by placing it on a cockpit tile. This will trigger the associated action indicated by the red arrow emerging from the cockpit tile. The cockpit tile on top can activate the 2 top actions. The center tile can activate any of the 4 actions, and the other cockpit tiles can only activate one specific action right next to it. The action spots on the left cockpit tile require a die with a value of 3 or lower. Any die can go in the action spaces in the middle, and dice with a value of 4 or higher can be used on the right side. The tiles in the middle offer you dice manipulation as a bonus, where you can decrease or increase a different action die you have already used or in your dice pool. On the top right, you gain a bonus credit for using the cockpit tile. By placing a 3 here, I can activate the movement action. I will spend 1 energy to gain movement points equal to the value of the die, so 3 movement points in this example. Later in the game, I could also create up to 2 wormholes for 2 energy. Below is a recharge or repair action. By activating the action, I will gain energy equal to the dice value or repair and discard 1 damage marker. The cockpit tile offers 1 energy as a bonus. In the upper cockpit tile, I could activate one of the upper actions. On the right, you find the transport alien action, which will cost 1 energy to activate and where we can beam 1 alien from our sector back to the mothership. But be careful. The alien indicates the minimum value of the die used, so sometimes you will need a 6, for example. The upgrade action is separated into 3 options and costs 1 energy to activate. You can either upgrade and flip 1 cockpit tile for 3 credits, buy an officer from the display on the main board and put the tile on the free space, or unlock an additional action die for the cost shown below the die, which will be 1 energy and 1 credit for the first die. These are the 4 main actions you can activate on your shuttle board. The rest of the available actions will take place in the Galaxy by moving into specific sectors. Another cool thing is the reroll ability up top. Whenever you're unhappy with your dice results, you can reroll as many times as you want. Of course, there's a price, and that is system errors for your little abuse of power. For each reroll, you will gain 2 system errors, or only 1 if you surrender 1 die for the round. System errors are collected on the right and will result in damage markers if you're not careful. Damage markers will be placed on top of your cockpit tiles and will reduce the die value by 1. Next to the shuttle board is a player aid which will help you through the phases of gameplay along with more helpful information. And on the back you find the final scoring. Let's jump right to the main board. Here you see the main board for your reference and not the playmat. Located around this board is a victory point tracker. On the top you find the round tracker. This board is also printed on both sides, with the other side featuring a 5-game round. Beneath it you find 3 officers on display. These can be bought with the upgrade action. They provide active or passive bonuses. Here they offer you +1 movement, a reroll option without system errors, or changing a 6 to a 1 and vice versa. On the left, you see a checkpoint scoring token, which will be activated by visiting a checkpoint sector. Here you would gain 1 cockpit upgrade for 1 damage marker. These will of course change each round. To the right, you find all the damage markers and aliens available for the player count. Here 10 aliens for 4 players. To the right are 3 scoring cards, 2 instant and 1 endgame scoring card. Here you want to be the first to transport 4 aliens or have 3 upgraded cockpit tiles to gain 5 victory points. At the end of the game, this card offers 5 victory points to the postman who delivered the most packages. These cards will vary with every gameplay. To the left, you see a stack of Galaxy tiles which will form the Galaxy. Here are some Galaxy Waste tokens, more officers, and more checkpoint scoring tokens, with the next one always on display. Like I said before, the player can replace the mainboard, and you find everything here as well. Okay, now let's get to the fun part of putting it all together and explore the Galaxy with our post shuttles. At the beginning of the game, all players start on the starting Galaxy tile. This tile provides an effect, so if your shuttle is on it at the beginning of your round, you will recharge to up to 7 energy. By moving around in the Galaxy, you will explore more of it as you go along. Whenever your space shuttle moves into the unknown depths of the Galaxy, a new Galaxy tile is explored. Little markings will help you to place it correctly. These new Galaxy tiles will be populated with aliens and Galaxy Waste tokens if necessary. On these tiles, we will find a lot of cool things and options to choose from, so let's take a look. First of all, there are a lot of asteroid sectors. Flying through them is harmful to your space shuttle and will result in system errors. The Galaxy Post really needs to improve these shuttles. If you activate the movement action and gain movement points, you can spend those to move 1 sector per movement point, though the black hole right here cannot be entered or flown through. This is a neutral package sector open for anybody to deliver to, whereas this is a special package sector only available for the green or blue player to deliver to. Only 1 package can be delivered per sector, so better be fast. If a shuttle ends its movement on a package sector, the package is delivered automatically. This is marked with a player marker. Then you will receive a package rating card, which will provide you hopefully with a funny comment of the recipient, a star rating, victory points, and maybe another bonus like a credit. These cards will be collected in your play area. If you end your movement on a waste sector, you can collect the marker and gain the bonus. Here, for example, 2 victory points. Thank you for keeping the Galaxy clean. This rather undemanding alien will need a value 3 die or higher to be transported home. If your post shuttle is in the same sector as an alien, you can activate the transport alien action, but be mindful of the die value. If you are using a die with a value of 3 or higher, you can transport this alien back home, put it back into the supply and gain an alien rating card. This card will provide you with a sometimes fitting comment. Sometimes they think they rated something else, but that just seems to happen. A star rating and a bonus, here 2 victory points and a credit. If you transported the alien with a dice value of 6, you have the option to choose one of the bonuses on the left. Here you could take back a used die from the player board or gain 1 victory point. These cards will be collected in your play area. The Sam sector over here can be visited once and will result in a message from the friendly android Sam. These cards contain a short story and 2 options to choose from. But Sam, being the friendly guy that he is, everybody will gain something, so pick carefully. Collect these cards as well. A very useful sector are the checkpoint sectors, where each postman can move to once. By visiting it, you put a player marker down and activate the checkpoint scoring token of this round. Here you will gain 1 upgraded cockpit tile for 1 damage marker. That sounds like a fair trade-off. The Galaxy is a dangerous place, so there are 3 more things we have to talk about. There are magnetic fields where your shuttle will gain a damage marker. And there are energy fields where your shuttle will lose 1 energy when moved into. Then there are galactic storms which will carry your shuttle along. Sometimes it's a cool shortcut. Sometimes it means death. Just kidding. Or am I? You will gain every effect of the sectors you will pass through though. In this example, 2 system errors. So not too bad. On a lighter note, wormholes. You can move through wormholes as if they were adjacent for 1 movement point. This makes the Galaxy seem small again. Use them wisely and be on the lookout for what other players are doing. Right here. Now you basically know everything you need to know, so let's go to the end of the round and the system check. When all players have used all their action dice, the current action phase ends, and we will perform a system check to see how well we were treating our space shuttles during the action phase. So let's take the player aid for help. You will lose 1 energy per damage marker on your cockpit tiles. Gain 1 system error if your energy marker is in the red zone of the energy track. Gain 1 system error for each die with a value of 6 which is overclocking the system. Gain 1 credit for each action die that you sadly couldn't use during the action phase. Then take back all action dice used on your shuttle board and roll them again to create your new dice pool. Now you either begin a new round with a preparation phase where you move the round marker forward 1 space, pass the first player marker to the next player, discard the current checkpoint scoring token and replace it with a new one, remove the right officer token from the display, move the others up and place a new one, or the game will end after 5 or 7 rounds and the final scoring will take place in which all players add up their successes based on victory points. You will gain 3 victory points for each of your placed wormholes and for an enlisted officer on your shuttle board. Gain 2 victory points for each upgraded cockpit tile, unlocked action die, and for every 3 golden stars on your rating cards. There is a scoring guide and rulebook and printed on the mainboard for this. Gain 1 victory point per 2 energy and per 2 credits left in your reserve. Score the final scoring card for 5, 3 and 1 victory points. Finally, the player with the most damage markers on the post shuttle will lose 5 victory points and so on. The player who has now been able to collect the most victory points wins the game and may call himself Employee of the Month. Congratulations! This concludes this video. We wish you a lot of fun with Galaxy Postman, and we would love to hear from your experience over on BGG or any other social page. Have an awesome day! Now get out there and deliver those packages.